So, bravo, Teen Justice League. You're not getting paid any money. Those cops arresting you are getting paid 80 G's a year for clamping down on their disregard for rules. Like Principal Alicia. But you get, Teen Justice League, love your Batman costume. That's a nice touch. You get Fat Cat's Hero of the Week award. Yes, Teen Justice League, thank you for taking freedom and justice into your own hands in British Columbia. Keep doing what you do and fighting the good fight. So in other news, rolling right along, it seems as if Einstein's theory of relativity might be wrong. In 50 years of textbooks and science and teaching is about to go out the window. It's kind of like years and years ago they thought the Sistine Chapel was brown intentionally until someone went up and it was just dirty. All the textbooks had to be rewritten. So in other news, Anonymous drops by Toronto, that threatening figure, threatening Rob Ford that if he touches the protesters at St. James Park in Toronto, there will be dire consequences for the city. Of course, Rob Ford ignores the consequences, and we will see, most likely they will be removed from St. James Park come Monday after the judge's decision. More on this next week. Also, would you like some chicken poop with that burger? How about washing it down with some cow's blood? New studies have shown that on many factory farms, cows are fed chicken feces. Yes, my children, drink the feces. And while you're at it, why don't you have some of my spider goat chicken? Or how about some petri dish steak and some blood rice and some GMO salmon? Yes. This is the future of food, my children. And how about cancer sniffing dogs? Yes, they've actually trained dogs to sniff out cancer. Yes, you can be put on chemotherapy treatment earlier and pharmaceutical treatment earlier than ever before. Now they will have canines at hospitals sniffing your bottom to see if you have cancer. All part of the humiliation agenda. And don't forget about Ogopogo, spotted in Lake Okanagan in British Columbia. Does the Loch Ness Monster exist in Canada? Only time will tell. And by the way, the Bank of Canada has issued a new $100 bill. And it's plastic. Check it out.
Best propaganda.
Canada's new polymer banknotes. Secure, durable, innovative. The leading-edge security features in Canada's new banknotes make them easy to check and hard to counterfeit. A good way to check these high-quality new banknotes is to feel, look at, and flip them. One of the first things you'll notice is the smooth texture of the note. It's made from a single piece of polymer. Feel the raised ink in these areas, the large number. The shoulders of the portrait, the Bank of Canada text. Next, look at the note. Two transparent windows have security features in them. The frosted maple leaf window and the large window. There's a metallic portrait that matches the large portrait. Look at the details in this image. There's also a metallic building in this window. Look at the details and then tilt the note. Notice the sharp color changes in the building. The color changes in the portrait are more subtle. In and around the window, you can see small numbers. Some of the numbers are reversed. Some of the leaves that border the window cross into it. Flip the banknote over. You will see the same security features in the large window on the front, repeated in the same colors and detail on the back. There's one more security feature you can check. You need a single-point light source. Locate the frosted maple leaf window. It has a transparent outline. Place the window very close to your eye. By looking through it at a single-point light source, you will see a circle of numbers matching the note's value that appears through the window. Canada's new polymer banknotes. Secure, durable, innovative.
Well, I suppose that if in China they can make rice from plastic, what's stopping Canada from making money from plastic? We don't make our money anyway. It's produced by a company called Geiske and Devrient. It's a private German company. And they make Zimbabwe's money too. Remember that currency that was hyperinflated so much that they have starving billionaires? The Canadian government doesn't even make its own money. Not only that, but 5% of our money is bank issued. The rest of it comes from private institutions issuing debt. 95% of our money is created through debt issuance from private banks, thanks to Brian Mulroney. Probably one of the most hated Canadian prime ministers. I think it's that chin. Ever to exist. In 1992, he lowered the bank reserve rate to 0, which effectively means that banks don't have to have any money to lend you money. Why not make plastic money? Everyone is saying how great this is because people won't be allowed to counterfeit it anymore. It'd be more difficult to make copies of our money. But who cares when the Bank of Canada only makes 5% of the money in circulation? Anyhow, this is basically a gift wrapped up in a plastic bow for the plastic chemical industry. Why would they care about counterfeiting? It's psychological training 101, my children. Getting you used to the idea of money on the one hand, and debit and credit cards on the other hand merging into each other. It also provides the illusion that the government cares. Look how fancy it is. When only a small fraction of the money is physically created by the People's Bank, the Bank of Canada. Look at our elected officials talk about our money. Here's Paul Martin on debt.
Politicians on drugs.
Well, that's actually an interesting question. First of all, money is prior to money. This is going to sound like a long answer, but I'm not quite sure I know the nature of your question. But let me see how I can handle it. Thank you. Prior to money, essentially trade.
So isn't it a little bit fraudulent though if I were to walk into a bank and they give me a receipt I can redeem at any time, but it's only noticed that it would be called fraud if everyone came to the bank and requested their money?
Oh, I'm going to answer your question, but then I want to go back to mine.
Okay.
Because this is the huge change of the last 5 years. It's not fraudulent. It's not fraudulent. Because everybody understands it, but it is.
No one really understands it.
Well, okay. I mean, those who know about it knew about it, so it's not fraudulent.
I've talked to like teachers and MPs, even MPPs, and they had no idea that there was only $4 billion in the faults, but overturned dollars was lent out.
Yep. No, they said go back. Well, the fact that they didn't know it, they should have. I mean,
But really, no one does.
well, they quit.
Should that be involved a little bit more before we start using money, that we should be told where it is, where it comes from?
Well, no. There was no fraud. People should have known. But there really is a problem. And that is that the people who knew didn't stop it.
And I suppose if you have plastic money, that when it wears out, you can also recycle it. And this must be a good thing. Little do you know, my children, that recycling programs go straight to Chinese factories where they have no environmental protection laws. We're in the business of diverting waste. We're not in the business of reducing waste. Kind of like we're